Yes, guys, hello, and welcome to the channel and podcast. I hope everyone is doing very well. I mean, that is my line. When I say I hope everyone's doing well, of course everyone's doing well. As you can see by the title of the video, and if you haven't been living under a rock for the last 2 hours, we have just beaten Man United 2-0 in what I would call a dominant, possessive, fantastic attacking performance. And my goodness, we are going to dissect things. And I am joined alongside Jacob from the United Spurs channel, and one I'm hoping to get on a number of times because we've been doing a couple of videos together on different channels. But Jacob, very quickly, mate, how are you doing and how buzzing are you, man?
Well, I'm absolutely thrilled, James. Thank you for the invite. Thank you. Definitely hope to have you on my channel as well. Appreciate the collaboration. Always great to bring two great minds together. You never know what you might be able to come up with. So, but as far as the match goes, what more do you want from Dr. Ange-Tastic? I'm giving him a doctorate. I'm just, when you reach a certain level, you go to a university and they just say, "Here's a doctorate. You didn't even go here, but here's a doctorate. You can pay for it, buy a wing in the college, and we'll give you a damn doctor." And I think Ainge has done that. He is the man. Look at what he's cooking. I think you asked this result, 3 months ago, it would have been a completely different mood and vibration from the fans. And I think right now, a lot of answers, a lot of questions are being answered, I should say, because of, I think I'll start with the back, starting with goal. Vicario, I think a lot of people doubted this man and what they saw with a very small sample size and judged him very quickly. And he showed today that he's willing to stand on his head, get up there. I mean, absolutely cat-like reflexes. I know we're going to get into it. Don't want to speak too soon, but I just
Right.
an example of questions being answered, and I'm thrilled, absolutely buzzed with the result. Obviously, I thought United left a lot to be desired. I do think we capitalized on a poor functioning Manchester United. I mean, when you talk to a lot of fans out there, they would have told you where are the goals going to come from if it's not Marcus Rashford. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't buy into any of that. At the end of the day, 2-0 Manchester United. Who can be happy with that result?
Perfect. Absolutely perfect, mate. And like you said, you talked about Vicario there quickly. We'll get into the player reviews because I like to do a top three, bottom three kind of review on the. But guys, as people join in, as people going to be joining throughout, we'll probably go for 30 to 40 minutes. We'll see how it goes. But guys, if you could do one thing and smash the like button as you come in, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm gonna put in a moment Jacob's channel in the title of the video as well. Go and smash the subscribe over there. Great content they produce as well. Felix is in here and he says, "Hey guys, on the way back from the stadium now. What a game." Felix, what did I say? I said you should be seeing a win today, and you got to see that win. I hope you had a great day, mate. And that atmosphere looked absolutely buzzing, didn't it just? Scott is in here, says great win. Second half in particular was brilliant. Sarr and Dozier Yams, they were fantastic. Sarr was so good. I can't believe what I watched. Basuma is the midfield boss. I think that's an understatement as well. He made Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount look silly today. Vicario is a higher quality keeper, capable of great saves. Absolutely, like maybe a lot of people have jumped the gun on this one a little bit, which is interesting. But Lynch is also in here. He says, "I'm hearing Maddison left on crutches." You heard anything about this, Jacob?
I have not. I saw that comment and then I started digging around. I have not seen anything personally, but I would not be surprised. They were in on him a few times pretty rough. I remember specifically, I think it was the second half when he went down and Romero was down at the time. It's interesting. I didn't see anything yet, but if that is the case, I guess that's why we kept Giovanni Lo Celso, right? So someone can fill in for that James Maddison type role. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't want to think too much about it because I thought James Maddison had a great game. I think both of the Premier League starts we've seen from him have been absolutely outstanding. So I like what I've seen from him. Be very unfortunate if he's hurt, but sometimes players do leave on crutches or they have a walking boot or something if it's a nagging injury. So maybe he'll take a game of rest, and I'm okay with that. I'm not too concerned. I hope he's okay. I hope he's all right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, worst case scenario, he misses the Bournemouth game
Burnley.
next week. Is it Bournemouth away? Isn't it next week?
It's Bournemouth away, and then it's Burnley, I believe.
Yeah. So
I'm checking.
mean, it's not a big game. Of course, they're all big games in the Premier League, but maybe it wouldn't be the end of the world if he had to miss a game. But let's see what happens from that. Let's not jump the gun. Teslim is in here saying we need a striker, midfielder, and centre back. Teslim, you're never happy. You got to be happy today. Yes, I agree with you. We do definitely need another striker for sure. Richarlison, we'll get into that. I thought he was probably one of the worst Tottenham on the pitch today. In my opinion, I know some of you guys probably think I've got an agenda against Richarlison. I really don't, but he didn't provide much today, and he got frustrated when he came off as well. But anyway, your source there is Cowling. We'll see about that. Maddison had a great second half, a little quiet first half. Hopefully next week. Do you know what, Jacob? Let's get into things. Let's talk about the game in terms of the standout performance. And at any point, Jacob, feel free to interrupt what I'm saying. But I think we started on the back foot. I think Man United probably started a little bit better than us. We then grew into the game. I thought we had a bit more of the ball. We ended up getting 58% possession that first half. End of the first half, Man United scared us a couple of times. Bruno missed an absolute sitter of a header from 4, 5, 6 yards out. Vicario had to make a couple of good saves. Just talk to me quickly about how you thought that first half was compared to the second half. Because like you said, Man United, of course, they didn't play well at all. So there is that factor. But how much better were we second half than first half?
There is something to be said about, I think, the way Ange can pull these players together, say at a halftime type setting. When you, like you said, in the first half, I mean, we did technically have more possession than it was 57% possession in the first half, and then it was 55% in the second half. So when you look at the possession, it's not really that much of a difference. I just thought that Manchester United started to look as though they were wearing down, and maybe we were more fit to go into an end-to-end affair. And I thought that, yeah, I mean, these guys, Manchester United, you got to give them all the credit, right? They're all professionals over there, but at the end of the day, I don't know if they're ready to. Some of these squads that we're going to come up against in the English Premier League, I don't know if they're ready to play the type of ball game that we're going to play for 90 minutes. And you saw as soon as anyone started to slow down a little bit, boom, subbed off before 70 minutes, subbed at 75 minutes. You know what I mean? I think the managing staff of Ainge and his assistants, they're doing a really good job in the sense of keeping that type of pace. And I thought that as soon as we made subs, you saw the likes of Kulusevski willing to run more, willing to, and these players that have been out there, I think, trying to show Ainge and the managers that, look, I'm not tired. I'm still giving it all. I'm still going. That's what Ainge has said repeatedly, that he's going to continue to work on with the squad, which is to keep the energy levels up, even when you're up a goal, even when you're never to sit back and play for the result. Keep playing for the next goal. And I thought that we did a good job of doing that, executing what I think Ainge's philosophy is that he's instilling here. And it's so much damn fun to watch, man. It is so much fun to watch.
So good to watch. I literally came back from watching that game out with a couple of Man United mates, which made it even more sweet, Jacob. Right? It was buzzing. They would have probably thought, James, calm down, it's 3 points in the Premier League. But it was more than that. It was the atmosphere that was generated. The feel-good factor was back. Even when we were winning games under Conte, I was like, all right, brilliant. We're probably going to finish 6th, 7th, 8th. Now we've got a feel-good factor. Although I'm not getting ahead of myself and I'm going to start saying we're going to get top 4 or stuff. I'm really saying that it's good to see some good football, some good attacking, progressive play through the lines where we're not just doing sideways, backwards football. We're actually playing with a great press as well when we haven't got the ball. And all the players are part of it. Even though Richarlison, I didn't think Son had an amazing game. In particular, was pretty much off of it. Even though he didn't play well, he still was pressing. He was still chasing the ball. He still put in 100% effort. And under Conte, we had a lot of passengers that didn't want to do that and didn't want to put their heart and soul into this team. And my goodness, it was refreshing to see, wasn't it?
In regards to Sonny, I thought he was improved from last week. I think a
Agreed. Yeah.
lot of our worries and concerns with him gelling in, big up Mick, that I think we had, was the fact of where he was positionally. How much can he really do from there at this juncture? And I thought that when we put him in that 9 role and we subbed out Richarlison, I really liked the way that looked. That was
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely, I enjoyed it. Also, when you look at some of the numbers, I thought Heung-min Son's passing was a lot better. The thing is, I think once him and James Maddison, you saw that there was a chance there where Son was trying to do something, Maddison was thinking he was going to do something else, and they kind of had words with each other. I'm trying to think if it was I believe it was in the second half, and to me, those are things I think that will get better over time. So when in regards to Son, I still liked what I saw from him. I thought his contribution with the ball, without the ball, and defensively, I thought it was pretty decent in comparison to everybody else up there. Now the Richarlison thing, that's a tricky one because I know you said people may think that you have a bias. This is a guy that I've been waiting to prove everybody wrong and to show me what I'm hoping he could show. Now, I've never,
Yeah.
anytime we played him when he was at Everton, I always thought he was like this fake hard, came across like he was a tough guy, but he's not really that tough, and he'll fold pretty quickly, as we can see. And that's what I was worried about when we signed him. And I'm still, I'm thinking maybe one more game we start him at striker, give him another 60 minutes to go out there, one more chance before we really throw the door out on this guy. That's where I'm at. I've said from the jump, 3 matches I think is a good amount of time to see if this player's able to adapt to what their role is in the way that we run ball now. And
Yeah.
I thought Son's adapting better. So comparison to last week, I thought he's adapted better to this style. I thought Richarlison, if anything, looked worse. I don't even know if he had a shot on target. I think he had 28
Yeah.
touches. He was second lowest in the match for touches. I mean, because LOL, I think it was Mason Mount had 26. I'm not sure.
He had a stinker, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Um,
absolutely did.
let's talk a little bit about the players in particular in just a minute in terms of this. Guys, I'm going to keep it interactive, as you know I always do on these live streams. I wanted to go live tonight because I'm so buzzing about it, and I thought it'd be more fresh and yeah, just a bit more fresh going live and a bit more energetic. Because I mean, if I left it a few hours and then did an offline, it wouldn't be as exciting. And I'm sure Jacob is also buzzing. I know he's been on a stroke.
I think
We've
we're breaking.
we've already been talking about it, haven't we, Jacob?
I think we're breaking up. I think he's there.
Hello.
Yes,
Sorry.
sir.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no,
All
no
I was
worries.
saying was, isn't it refreshing to see such a great win when we've had such dire football last season at the end?
I think that's the thing that a lot of foreign fans, right, that they feel we're waking up 2:30, 4:30, 5:30 to watch some of these matches. So when it comes down to it, you want to see something that's going to entertain you. And I think in our tradition, to my understanding of it, has been this style of football, this front foot, forward thinking, not the ball that we've seen the last few years with Jose, with Nuno, with Conte. Not saying taking anything away from these managers and their style, it can get it done. But these players, you could tell they never really identified with it. They did it, but it never looked like they felt it, if you know what I'm saying. This feels like some football any player would love to play. It's going forward, going at it, trying to create, and not just sitting back and inviting pressure. I thought in the first half, a little bit to your first question, James, that Manchester United did a good job of putting the pressure on us and sticking to us when we had the ball in our half, when we had the ball in their half. But as time wore on, they were less inclined to stay as high up on us. And I think that's kind of the idea with this Ange ball as well, is to wear your opponent down. It's a boxing match, right? There's 12 rounds. So let's go out there and let's put the work on them for all 12 rounds and not sit back and just keep, let's see how long they could last. And I think they lasted about 60, 70 minutes. And that's when we saw the magic really happening. So this is a style of play where also I think we have to temper our expectations. I felt like we were definitely going to concede. We could have conceded 3 different times, some would argue. At least that's what they argued on the football terrace when I was there. But they didn't. So at the end of the day, You just got to score more goals than they did. And I love the fact that we're going at the goal. We're not just waiting for a counter-attacking option. It
This is
seemed
it.
like we were doing that in the first half. That's kind of where we were getting our opportunities in the first half, was on the counter-attack. And I like that the second half, we said, you know what, now let's really go for it. Putting them on their heels, and we saw the way that they danced with us. So I liked it.
You mentioned, I can't remember the exact words you said, Jacob, but like second half, we just kept going. We suffocated the opponent into conceding again. The second goal was always coming. I said to my friends while I was watching it out, this isn't ending 1-0. We were either going to concede or we were going to score again. That's how the game looked. It was, even though I was expecting more goals, and in my preview I sat on wrong, I knew that the intensity would be there from Tottenham, and we wouldn't let them even get a minute on the ball. Wouldn't even give them 3-4 seconds on the ball, because it was quick, it was sharp, and we just kept on going, didn't we?
Absolutely. And I think that's part of, right, like you said, why they conceded that second goal. It didn't matter, I think, where it came from. Ben Davies ricocheting it off Lissandro Martinez. I've heard a few Manchester United fans trying to argue that one was lucky, that the first one was lucky. The first one was definitely not lucky. The second one, if we're going to talk about luck coming into this, we put ourselves in that position, quite frankly. We prepared to be in those spaces, occupy those roles, and it wasn't like they made a mistake and we just capitalized on it. Is we put ourselves in this position and then they made a mistake and we capitalized on it. So
Yeah.
absolutely a thrilling match. I can only imagine what it was like inside that stadium. I'm sure everyone was buzzing. But man, all the way over here, I was buzzing too. I absolutely loved everything I saw from start to finish. And you kind of mentioned in the first half the difference that they kind of wore down. The first half, like I said, they were willing to go toe to toe and keep swinging with us, and you saw the game was just swinging back and forth, back and forth. And again, I know I'm going to keep going back to this, but the mentality, the philosophy that Ange-Postecoglou is instilling in the squad, you have to love it as a fan. Anyone who's hated on him, who's doubted on him, where do they say it now? Well, it doesn't matter. Richarlison had a stinker. Guess what? We still put two past Man United. However way you want to write the books, the history will
And a
show.
clean sheet. And a clean sheet, mate. Vicario clean sheet. Van der Ven solid. Romero solid. Fantastic today. Doji insane. I want to get, like I said, I want to get into the player ratings because that's always a fun bit of the show. But one thing to mention, Ed Sweeting saying we were lucky to be level at the break. I would agree. I would probably agree with that. 45 to 75 total domination. They couldn't get out of out of their half. They really couldn't.
I don't know if it's lucky because someone couldn't finish their dinner and we ate it for them. That's just fortunate. That's fortune favoring us, in my opinion, because obviously you can see there's something going wrong with Eric Ten Hag and the way that he's operating his system over there, and he hasn't really adapted it. And to me, this was an opportunity for, I think, both managers to say, here's what I either did wrong or what I did right. And Manchester United went with the same exact 11 that they had the first week. So from a United perspective, they were looking at it like, no, this is going to work. This is what I'm instilling. And they got in those positions because I think, first of all, we allowed them to, but we were always going to concede. And I think if you catch Manchester United on a better day, they probably do put two to three of those away. Make what you will of the VAR calls. I didn't see nothing. That's the way I see it. I didn't see nothing when it comes to those VAR, because Manchester United, they always be getting VAR calls. Look at last week.
United, honestly. Just wanted to clarify something, sorry, Jacob, on James Maddison. Alistair Gold has just tweeted saying James Maddison spotted by journalists in the mixed zone leaving the stadium on crutches. He told them it was just a precaution, so fingers crossed on that. So apparently it's precautionary, and actually he doesn't need anything. What do you think on that?
Well, that's kind of what I said, James. I said sometimes you see players leaving and, it's just a recovery thing. It could be one of those heat packs that allows oxygen to flow through his legs more, in a recovery process. He took some licks out there, lest we forget. There was some, I liked the refereeing today, if I'm honest. I thought he let it go on both ends. I thought there were chances where he could have easily blown the whistle, made it a very stop and go type of thing. But I thought the refereeing for the most part was pretty solid. I know that's a point of contention every week with every club. In every week of every season, there's always contention with the referee. But in regards to what I saw today, there's not really a lot for me to complain about. You know, we went down in the box a few times. They went down in the box a few times. I think that last one there, Ben Davies and Pellegrini or Pellegrino, I don't know what his name is, but he ran into Ben
Who
Davies.
cares?
Ben Davies was Ben Davies was occupying that space and running into that space. I felt like he collided. It was fair play. I think the ref let it go a little rough on both ends, and I like that personally. I enjoy that more than when the ref's like, oh, you touched him, no, oh, and that whistle attached to his bottom lip. That's what I don't like in a match. I thought there wasn't much for us to be upset about. Some United fans are upset about what they saw, but if they're upset about what they saw, then it's just, I keep the heat even on both sides of the pancake, James. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna call it soft when it's soft. I'm gonna call it even when it's even. And I thought that it was very
I
even.
like that.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. I'm gonna have to keep you talking for just a minute while my internet decides not to have a Man United kind of day and just not turn up. But Jacob, talk me through the penalty decisions. Do you think they were both not penalties? The back-to-back?
Are you referring to the ones where Romero went down and then Maddison went down, or are you talking about the ones
Yeah.
where
What did you think?
I thought the one on Romero, I thought that was pretty fair play. It was kind of a body-to-body type of contact that I think that happens in every match. The body-to-body contact. And just because it happens in the box, I don't think you should just call it soft all of a sudden. And I thought the whole match, the ref really did a good job of really letting the boys play. And that's what I wanted to see the most. And the second one on James Maddison, I mean, they didn't show the replay too much, but on first glance, as far as I can remember it looked as though the guy got the ball and then a lot of James Maddison. So I don't know. I didn't really get too many good looks at it. I haven't actually reviewed the tape, but the one on James Maddison, they could have easily called it, but the first replay I saw, it looked like the guy came sliding in, hit the ball, took out Maddison in the process, but he hit the ball first. And to me, my understanding of the rules is as long as you get the ball, don't really matter what you do to the man. So, but the one on Romero,
I agree.
I think that's fair play. They've been letting it go pretty hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder type of play all game. Why change it just because they're in the box? So I don't call it bias when I look at a lot of the penalty things. On first glance, my emotions are always like, no, that's a pin, that's a pin. But once I breathe and I come down from the match a little bit, then I can look at it more objectively. And I even remember in the moment, I don't think it was even one that I was like really upset about. Oh, like it should have been. The one against Son, that one really upset me in the moment, and it upset me after the match. But then when I looked at it after the match, I said, well, I guess by the letter of the law, when you look at it frame by frame, the letter of the law states that he didn't touch the ball. He grazed the player's foot. Therefore, they gave the pin last week.
And we would have been annoyed if it was the shoe on the other foot, if they didn't give that for us, for example. That Son one yet last week, right? If we had that same penalty decision, we would have been give it, which is why I give them the benefit of the doubt and say actually it was a penalty against for Brentford.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's the one at Brentford. When I looked at it again, I said, yeah, I think that's a penalty. When you go by, I just want them to keep that same energy. Say match week 10, match week 20, match week 25. Keep that same energy, because when it happens again to us at Liverpool, no, undoubtedly they're going to be something like that where our ankle touches their ankle in the box and it goes the other way. So I don't know. It's one of those that I think early on in the season you're setting a weird precedent, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. You in good now? You can hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Cool. Kev is saying, big up, gents. What a performance. We wiped the floor with them. What a second half. Basuma, Sarr, and Maddison were immense. Also, a lot of people saying, COYS, Spurs fan, Kev Williams. Big up, guys. Jacob, I'm late to the party, but as usual, I bought the beer. Good. Love that. You should have a few beers tonight, mate. He's saying, how do you feel about the game Venom Vicario had?
I think he's week in and week out answering a lot of questions that people are asking of him, myself included. But during the preseason, he showed me signs that he's a keeper who can get down in a hurry and he's got great reflexes. That he started answering that throughout the preseason. The ball distribution is still something we need to, I think, work at. But that's why we brought him in, because allegedly he's pretty damn good with the ball at his feet. But it's not just him. Like, if there's Vicario right there, you got 3 defenders that you can pass to, and they all have a man on them. You got to give it to the one furthest out, which is what we saw him do time and time again with Basuma. And then Basuma was real quick to dish it left or right or back to Vicario. And I think that United was applying a lot of pressure. So when we were trying to build out of the back like that, it was really interesting to see how we coped with that kind of high pressure that they were putting on us. But from a goalkeeping standpoint, he didn't do clean sheet. What you going to say to the man? He hell of a lot of saves. There were 2 that were absolutely phenomenal. There was a third, but it was offside. There was a third.
That one was ridiculous. The way he tipped it onto the bar. I know it was offside. I think it was Varane.
Or Sancho. Or Sancho, yeah.
Yeah, one of them. But he bullet header, tipped it onto the bar. I mean, I said to my mates, I was like, he's got a finger to that. They're like, nah, just hit the bar. I was like, no, seriously, he got a finger to that. And my God, like, imagine that was onside and that keeps us in the game.
But that's what I'm saying. All of his saves kept us in the game. He had 2 phenomenal saves before that. And to me, he's showing time and time again why we were fully comfortable going with him at the price we did. I think that's why we pulled out of the David Raya deal that quickly, was because we wanted a keeper for the preseason tour. And so people say, oh, well, he's the easier option. He's not as good as David Raya. Well, him being as good as David Raya, that can be put up to debate, because now we're about to see David Raya in his new team. But in the Premier League, Vicario's look just fine. Those 2 saves, I go back to him. If he does not save those, if that's Hugo that does not save those, the game completely changes dynamic at that point. But the fact that he had those 2 saves in those 2 times, like, say what you want, a save is just as good as a goal on the other end. So he had a lot of, and he had an offside goal if you think about it. So the man was absolutely putting in a performance. It's interesting because I see him post on Instagram, and everyone's, you know, even people commenting on his Instagram, be better with this and be more calm and this. People are critiquing him, saying what he can and can't do. This is why I don't like putting players in a box. I've been referring to this a lot.
Yeah, I want to see those people commenting about doing stuff differently on his thing today, saying he was one of the man of the today. He was phenomenal. But I want to read out Scott's comment about the decision on Romero handball was excellent. 2 often those are given, but it was so close. And even though his hat was away from his body, it was there. It was so close to him, that one. I know we haven't talked about that, Jacob, but I'm glad that wasn't given, because that would have very, very, very much annoyed.
Yeah, I think if the call against Romero, the one you're talking about, he went up with his hand a little bit but if you think about it, they were like 4 yards away from each other. The guy put some power on the ball. All he did was stick his leg up, and in the body motion, I think that's why VAR took no time at all in reviewing it. They looked at it, they said, boom, boom. You know, it's just a bang, bang play. And there's been so many times that has happened to us and they don't call it. So I'm glad they didn't call it, because there's been plenty of times where I'm fuming, like, it hit his hand regardless of motion, distance. But you know what? That's one of those calls. I'm just thankful it went our way, because we've seen it time and time again when it doesn't. And that's the most frustrating part, is that it's not consistent. So finally, there was a little bit of consistency, right? We never get these whenever we kick the ball and we're close to them and they kind of block it with our hand. Finally, it just feels like maybe 2 weeks in, I'm not too upset with the refereeing. They've kept the same energy the same past 2 weeks. The handball thing, call it what you want. I'll take it. I see nothing. But I've complained in the past when that's happened against us. So I would be.
No, of course, that's just the Spurs goggles coming on, Jacob. You're trying to get cheap penalties.
True.
Kev's saying, what do we think of Richie? I know I've said it for the last half an hour. We will do a couple of match ratings. We're going to end up in about 10, 15 minutes. But what was I going to say? Adamola saying Vicario was excellent, but Basuma looks reborn. Agreed, mate. And he's also saying, I've been wondering if Sarr was a club level player, but he's perfect for that number 8, number 6. I mean, him and Basuma were interchanged today. It was fantastic. It was just mate, imagine as well in that. Where does Bentancur come into this? But it's a question for another video, right? But I just want to say,
at least we don't have to worry about that now.
We are cooking in midfield without Bentancur. Everyone thought we were screwed without him. But guys, there's like 30 of you watching on all socials. Please go and smash the thumbs up. But after you've done that, and if you're watching offline because I like to rewatch, please go and click on the title of the video, United Spurs of America. It's one tap. You don't have to come off of the video, and smash that subscribe button on Jacob's channel. He's just hit 2K. Let's get him closer to 3K as well as this channel. Let's get us closer to 3K and then closer to the 10K goal. Everyone knows that's what Spurs are going to get by the year. Do I think that's possible? It might be with the help of you guys. But go and smash a sub on Jacob's channel and go and check out his content as well. You'll probably find me on his channel a little bit more now as well. So yeah, please do that. And Jacob, what can people find on your channel as well, just while we're doing a little bit of a plug-in session?
Well, I probably won't have nothing today because I'm doing an appearance here. I'll be on the Irish Hotspur a little bit later with Dave Harris, and then I'll be back Sunday with a little bit of content. I do 5 to 6 days a week. I bring a live stream. I used to do pre-recorded videos, but a lot of people tuning in for the live stream. So you know, in the words of a famous broadcaster once said, "F it, we're gonna do it live." So that's just kind of what I've been doing, and I go live about 5-6 times a week throughout the week, once a day, usually about 10 p.m. UK time, 11 p.m. around there.
Late one.
So yeah, it's a little bit of a late night thing, but the vibes are immaculate. That's what I will say. Yesterday I had a call-in show. Things got heated, and I did get passionate and very heated. I love Tottenham, so I do get passionate from time to time, especially when there's like 9 people on and you're trying to get your point across and like 4 people keep talking over you. Yeah. That's when it's crazy. But I do that once a week, and it's mayhem. But you know, sometimes once a week it's good to throw down. The rest of the time, I usually do myself or just myself and a guest. And then we'll talk about a few things, and I usually keep the vibes immaculate no matter what's going on. Even when Conte was holding us down, I always find some way, you know, if there's any water in that glass, I'll find a reason to be optimistic about it. It's kind of my mentality. So life's hard enough, you know. Yeah, the vibes are immaculate. Life's hard enough. When you come to my channel, I don't want it to be a bunch of upset, me griping and stuff. Let's just have a good time.
There you go, guys. Get over there for the immaculate vibes. And Kev's asking you, what's the music on your intros and outros?
My father-in-law makes that, so they're homemade. The intro, outro for the channel. That if you've seen the pop-up with Jacob song, that's all my father-in-law. He made those handmade for me. So big ups to him, Nick Kontsopoulos.
Right. Ed saying Sarr looked undroppable after that performance. Great on the ball, defense, tackling, dangerous going forward. 10 out of 10. And we're going to do our match ratings now, Jacob. I want your top 3 Tottenham players with your rating out of 10. And then I'm keeping the vibes immaculate. I'm using your slogan. So I'm not going to say who's the bottom 3 Spurs players today. I just want your bottom 1, because I think we know who it is, but we'll talk a little bit about it. But who's your top 3? What is the rating out of 10? And guys, put it in the chat as well what you think. Comment offline, online. If you're live now, let us know. But Jacob's going to let us know. I put him on the spot.
This is tough because normally it's hard to come up with 3 because there's only 1 or 2. If last season is probably just 1, and it's tough because now there's about 5 to 6 that you can pull and say.
I agree.
So I'm going to be doing a disfavor to a lot of players who were absolutely phenomenal today. I'll give some honorable mentions before I thought Mickey Van de Ven, his second Premier League start, absolutely playing great. There were moments in which you were like, but he's young, he's in a new league, and he's better than anybody we have in that position. Destiny Udogie, I thought, got very unlucky with that weird yellow. Didn't quite see it. But I thought I'd call him Destiny Ugodi. By the way, that's so. If you ever hear Ugodi, that's him.
There
I
you
thought
go.
he's absolutely great over there on the left side, and Romero and Pedro Porro, for what it's worth, they were doing a damn job, and I loved what I saw from them. So, the back line, a lot of things to be happy about with the back line today, but
Did any of them make your top 3 though? No.
no.
Okay, let's hear it.
If Pedro Porro bangs that one at the top of the box, different story. But
Yeah.
my number 3, I'm gonna go with Yves Bissouma. I thought he controlled the match well. I think he gave the ball once or twice away, kind of stupidly, but other than that, he had an absolutely blinder of a game like we saw week 1. He's definitely in there for man of the match. I can hear the argument for it. And then my second is Papa Matasar. He had a hell of a goal, way to get into a position and finish your dinner. This is what we've seen Oliver Skip do. Papa Matasar, they try and find those pockets of areas where the continuation of play will find them. And you know what? I agree with the comment that you read earlier. He almost looks undroppable after that performance. I thought the first half, even without the goal, he was looking really solid and really decent going forward. Very decent with when the pressure was hot and all, they were right on his back, calm with the ball, turns well with the ball. He plays he looks skinny, Jack. He looks skinny, James, but he's not no crackerjack. He's
not, is he?
he plays
Hard
like
to
a
tackle
full-grown
as
man.
well.
Yeah, he plays like a full-grown man for how long he is. Surprisingly strong.
Yep.
So he's getting my number 2 because absolutely great. The goal changed the whole match. He flipped the whole match on his head. I love the celebration, the passion after the goal. Loved everything I saw from him today.
The Rashford celebration as well, the shit out it.
Talk to me nicely. I loved it. And then I'm giving my man of the match goes to Mr. Vicario Sicario.
Wow.
I know people call him Venom because it's easier, but I give him a little bit of the There's a movie called Sicario if you ain't seen it, and it was shot here in El Paso and Juarez, so check it out if you haven't. But I call him Vicario Sicario. He's like a hitman, man. He's next level. He's kind of crazy, and I love that. I'm kind of glad we have a madman back there. I was kind of a madman when I was in between the sticks, a little bit of a madman. I mean, you're there all match, everything's happening in front of you, so you can just yell at everybody. It's kind of a good place to be if you're like me and you like yelling at people. I'm just joking, but a goalkeeper always got to look out for a goalkeeper, so that's why he gets my nod. I think
So
he's the reason we were in that.
What's his rating, Jacob?
Out of 10?
Yeah.
I'd be darned if I don't give him a 9 at least.
9.
9 to 10. What did he do wrong?
Wow.
I don't know anything he did wrong. Mistake free, clean sheet. You know what I'm saying? Even if he had that game and we conceded one.
Looked solid.
The only thing, maybe why I give him a 9.5 is maybe his distribution, long ball could be a little bit better, but you can say that about a lot of people except for Mr. Onana. Excuse me, sir. Those were some peaches he was dropping. A little
that
scary.
Cross ball in the first half was ridiculous, by the way.
In a bread basket. That in American football they call that the bread basket. It's when you're in stride and the ball just falls if you're carrying a bread basket right in there. So
all the way across as well, diagonally.
One pass from box to box, insane. That's why they got Mount in the midfield. It doesn't matter. You got a guy who could put in sweet peaches like that. Come on.
Guys, there's 40 of you watching. I've already said it a couple of times. So if you're just coming in like Stu's just coming in from the game and everyone else has started commenting, please go and smash the like on this video. Please go and check out United Spurs of America, Jacob's channel, which is the way. And the third thing is we have got a vlog coming out in a couple of hours' time. I've got to edit it after this. Jack's been at the game. He said it was unbelievable, the atmosphere. He sent through all the clips, so I've got to edit that in a minute. And it's going to be out tonight, 100%. So stay up for that, guys. Turn the notification bells on for this channel so you don't ever miss that upload. And the vlog, guys, it'll be good. Jack's already told me the atmosphere was rocking throughout the game. So he's vlogged the game, and that should be a banger as well. So 3 things. Smash the like on this video. Smash the subscribe on United Spurs of America, please. And wait for that vlog later on. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to seeing the vlog. Smash vlog in the comments if you're looking forward to seeing that in a couple of hours. But I know you've got to go on another channel now. So you've given your man of the match, Vicario. You've given your top 3.
What's your rating for before I leave or anything, or we sign this thing off? What about you? What do you give Vicario out of 10? Does he get a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10?
He gets a 9 out of 10. I think a 10 out of 10 is like when he's getting peppered at goal and he's got
Okay.
10 shots. He's saved as much as he can, so technically he can't do better. But I think with a keeper, you get a 10 out of 10 for just saving 10, 15. I tell you what a 10 out of 10 performance is. Do you remember when Tim Krul came to the lane and he kept out like 30 shots?
Yeah.
That's a 10 out of 10 performance.
Okay. That's
So you
tough. Tough crowd, man. Goalkeeper
do
gonna
something
get no
special.
love. The goalkeeper is hard to get some love out here. I see it. It's okay.
Yeah. But my man of the match actually isn't Vicario. It's got to be Pepe Matasar. He was fantastic. Him and Basuma were fantastic. I think it's out of them two for me. But Sarr, he was so good going. He tackled so much. He put everything in, didn't he? He left everything on that pitch. And he was just sublime. I have nothing bad to say about him today. That is like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I can't see any other rating. Like, what would you give Sarr?
I'm giving Sarr at least an 8 or a 9. 8 or a 9, I think.
Got a 10 here from
Got a 10. I mean, again, it's the same thing with Vicario. What did he do wrong? There was not any time where I was like, oh, dang, Papa. You know what? It was more like, nice one. So, I don't know. For whatever that's worth, that's me watching the match. I shout the players just because, you know, I believe in energy. And if I can send any energy their way in the moment, then I try to do that. So, I didn't remember ever being like, dang, Papa Matasar. Like, what did you do there? So he really didn't do a lot wrong. I just maybe like you don't want to get too overzealous. Maybe he could have been more if he would have scored 2 goals and put in a similar performance. Maybe I'll talk about a 10 out of 10. But I'll give him an 8 just because I got
8. I think that's harsh. I think an 8 is harsh.
Should I go up? Should I say 9?
I don't see how you can give it an 8, Jacob. I can't. He was phenomenal.
Let me see if I can pick anything about. I mean, he was no. Okay, let's go 9. Okay, let's go 9.
Yeah.
I'll go 9. I'll flip flop real quick.
Anyway, we love opinions. Kev saying Vicario was unfairly being compared to Gomez last week. Do you know what? Aurelio Gomez, I did compare him to him at one point. I said I had flashbacks. I got to be honest.
Dang, when he got called out by Kev.
Yeah, I just got called out. When he was flapping about, though, his composure was
there. He's a madman. But see, that was his first Premier League start in a new club at a big boy league. And he's in Brentford, and they're all singing "Hey Jude." He's thinking he's at a Beatles concert. You don't know what's going on. It's normal. He'd be a little bit, he's got to shake out the butterflies. So I've never really been concerned. And I think every time people have brought like concerns, I always feel like that he showed me more good things than bad things at every juncture when people were questioning things. So I've never been worried about him. I think he's absolutely flying with his confidence right now. You saw him after every save. He's celebrating like he just scored a goal. And I love that because for me, as a goalkeeper, you did score a goal. Because if Hugo lets one of those go past, the game completely changes at that point. Then we don't know if we get the second one or the first one or anything. So it's just instances where it's like, goalkeeper can really keep you in the game. They can really blow it all for you, or they can be in the game, keep you in the game. And I thought that he did that. They had their chances. They had some chances that they didn't capitalize. They had a lot of shots on target, though. I mean, 7 or 6. What was it? Shots on target.
Let's have a look.
You're getting busy in the box.
6 on target, same amount as us. 3 goal attempts though. 22 goal attempts, only 6 on target. That's not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, when Casemiro's got the most on-target shots, you got a problem there in your attack.
You got a big problem. You got a huge problem. Ange doesn't make bad signings. Bissouma, Sarr, Vicario. Well, Vicario was the only Ange signing out of this. Actually, I see your point. 52.5 million for Onana. And Elvis is saying, dominated from 30th minute once we settled. Bassouma was excellent, but I felt Sarr was immense and would have been man of the match if he played the full game. Sky Sports in England gave it to Bassouma. What did the American channel give it to, the man of the match?
I think they gave it to Bassouma. I think they choose the same one.
Right.
But for me, I thought Yves Bassouma was absolutely critical to what we're doing here. But singularly, I don't know. I give it to Vicario or Papa Matasar anytime you get the goal. But yeah, they did give it to Basuma. So, and again, he's in my. I definitely hear it. He controlled the game. He's everything we thought he was when we brought him from Brighton. And long may it continue.
Absolutely. He was fantastic, and we knew he was going to be like a new signing this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because under Conte, he was basically in jail. He didn't get any game time. The guy was a prisoner to Conte.
Well, he also was suffering from long COVID, so I don't want to completely throw it all on Conte. That
we throw it on Conte on this channel, mate. We've had enough. Just done. Throw it on Conte. Be done with it.
I try to be fair, you know. Mr. Conte did like an Instagram comment I left on his post once, so we're kind of friends. He's kind of my friend now. You know, he liked a comment of mine once, and that's as far as it goes. But for me, that's as good as we're friends. I've got his phone number now.
Love it. Yeah, love it. Brilliant performance. Defense needs to bed in and get more used to the system. I mean, they were pretty good today. Solid. Didn't put many feet wrong. Best thing is mainly the same players we already had playing progressive football. Exactly. I love how frustrated and annoyed the Man United rings around them today. They've had 12 months of 10 Hag football. Ange's working wonders in a couple of weeks. It was so nice just keeping and controlling the second half, says Wilson. Absolutely. But guys, that is all we have time for. Remember what I said. Please smash the like. It's 38 likes on the video. Let's see if we can get it up to 50 to 9. Please, please, please go into the title of the video and click on United Spurs of America's tag there and hit a sub, please. Every single one of you. I want to see Jacob get at least 10, 20 new subs tonight. And also, the vlog is coming up. So stay tuned for that in a couple of hours, guys. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. I promise you. Just the love on that when it comes out. Go and smash the likes and comment. Say you were part of this live stream or something like that in the comments. But Jacob, it's been a pleasure to have you on the channel, mate. Do you want to say a couple of final things before you go off to the Irish Hotspur?
My final thing I will say is I'm on Kulusevski and Richarlison watch. I don't know what them two are up to right now. That's what I'm going to last say. What are they up to? Everyone else, absolutely fantastic performance. Not too upset with anybody else. But those two folks, I'm wondering what's going on over there.
Yeah, we tried to skip over the negative. We've kind of ended on a negative, but what a performance it was. We'll talk about Richarlison in another video, and I agree as well. Kulusevski wasn't great. But guys, as I said, smash the like, sub to United, sub to this channel as well, and the vlog's up later from Jack. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all your comments. And as always, guys, come on you Spurs!
Coos.